Hey everyone, today we're diving into an important topic, fear. We'll explore both the fear that stems from the world around us and the kind that rises from within. Externally, we worry about losing our jobs, damaging our social standing, or falling out of favor with those in power. Internally, we fear failure, death, loneliness, rejection, or hopelessness. These anxieties, whether external or internal, can weigh heavily on us. Fear has the ability to imprison us. When we're afraid, our minds become clouded. We lose touch with the subtle details of life, and this dullness can lead to extreme thoughts or desperate actions, such as clinging to beliefs, ideologies, or people for a sense of security. Breaking free from fear's grasp is one of the most crucial challenges we face. Many of our fears actually originate from the same survival instincts we observe in animals. Think about it. Animals react aggressively when threatened, and so do we. They seek comfort, just as we do. They gather in packs while we create clubs, groups, and nations. A significant portion of our brain chemistry is inherited from animals. This is a scientific reality. But the real question is, can we rise above these inherited instincts? Can we move beyond the cultural norms and societal expectations that shape our thinking and keep us confined? True freedom from fear is necessary before we can embrace a new way of living. However, psychological fear, the kind that torments us in the dark of night, is what truly binds us. Look at nationalism and religion, for example. They divide the world into opposing factions, fueling conflict. We get trapped within our own beliefs, our own flags, and this separation breeds anxiety and tension. Meanwhile, the real issue, our shared humanity, gets pushed aside and fear continues to grow. Fear is always tied to something that has happened or something that might occur. You may be terrified of losing your job next month or being hurt again as you were in the past. The majority of fear is fueled by thought. Our thinking is the spark that ignites the fire of fear. We imagine what could go wrong tomorrow or recall past suffering, and suddenly fear grips us. Perhaps you've experienced a painful illness and dread enduring it again, or you remember feeling deeply lonely and never want to feel that way again. Thought also fuels our craving for pleasure and our fear of losing it. When we recall a joyful moment, we yearn to relive it, and the more we dwell on it, the stronger our desire grows. On the other hand, when we recall a painful experience, our fear of its return intensifies. Of course, thought is essential for daily activities, writing, speaking, working. None of this is possible without thinking. But when the mind fixates on past wounds or envisions worst-case scenarios, fear takes over. So, the real question is, can the mind learn to release past burdens and future worries when they are unnecessary? Pay attention to what happens when you focus completely on something, immersing yourself fully. In those moments of deep engagement, there is no inner voice judging or worrying. You are simply present. When you're entirely in the moment, there is no separate observer left to feel fear. That ongoing internal dialogue, the voice that constantly comments on everything, fades into the background. And when that chatter subsides, fear has no space to take root. This isn't about shutting down your mind or becoming empty. It's about questioning the habit of allowing thoughts to run unchecked and discovering a more expansive way to exist. When we depend on external sources, people, possessions, ideologies, for our sense of security and self-worth, fear thrives. This dependency arises from a lack of self-understanding, a feeling of inner emptiness. If we begin to observe our own reactions and patterns, we might uncover where this dependence starts and how it blossoms into fear. Because fear is deeply connected to memories of pain and pleasure, stirred up by thought, it thrives in the shadow of the past. But true freedom of thought emerges when we see the past clearly, in the present, recognizing it for what it is, rather than allowing it to unconsciously dictate our future. Through this honest awareness, we begin to understand that the self, the sense of I and mine, is at the core of most fears. If we can loosen that attachment, fear loses its grip on us. And when that happens, fear can no longer imprison our minds, allowing a new kind of freedom, a fearless way of being, to unfold.